الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Yesterday we were talking about the golden rule. And I call it the golden rule because it's the most important rule that the people of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah had in regard to understanding the concept of Allah's names and attributes. That we name and we describe Allah with what in the Quran and the Sunnah. Only. We don't describe Him with what in our mind, logic, desires. Do you remember we said, what if one great meaning, a perfect meaning, which can fit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but is not in Quran and Sunnah, can we still describe Allah with it? As a form of khabar, we said, just informing about Allah, that He is the maker of this word. Maybe maker never been mentioned in Quran or Sunnah, but you can say that as just a way of expressing or explaining who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. That Allah is mawjood, Allah is exist. The word existence, mawjood, never mentioned in the Quran or Sunnah, but it's obvious. But we don't say it is one of His names, so we call Him Al-Mawjood. Al-Mawjood, we don't do that. Or As-Sani' as one of His name. It could be as a description, it could be as informing others about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, telling about Him, since it is a right and a good and perfect meaning. We call that akhbar. طيب. So, but as names, as-sifat, attributes, it's only must be driven from Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. Only. We cannot take or we cannot give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a name or attributes from our own. It has to be mentioned in Quran or Sunnah. That will lead me to say, how many names and attributes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has? Somebody said, infinity. It's infinity. Has no number. No limit number for it. What do you guys think?
Well, the question was what we know, not what we don't know.
How many names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has? That was the question. An attribute. Some said they are infinity. And some said has no number for it. Unlimited. What does infinity means? Infinite. What has no limit to it means? No end. What that means?
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It continues. How does that work continuously? What that means? Keep happening. That's right. So if you said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, listen carefully. If you said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes infinite, or they are infinity, or it has no end to it, or it's continuously, or it's endless, all these words, has no number for it, that means it is keep happening. Yani it means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today has a name, and tomorrow we have more names, and after tomorrow we'll have more names. Okay? Question. Allah's names and attributes are the greatest description or not? Has the greatest meaning or not? So that means, based on this, what some of you said, before today, He was missing a great description and a great name. Is that possible? Is that acceptable? So definitely, this word is unacceptable to say Allah's names are endless or infinity or continuously happening. No. Allah's names and attributes, there is number for it. There is a number for it. There is certain names and attributes for Allah. But Allah only knows how many of them. 99, 1,000, 1 trillion, we don't know. You see what I'm saying? So Allah's names and attributes, they were limited in numbers, but this number, we don't know how many. It is so common among some Muslims that they say Allah's names are only 99. And we have all these little papers they pass out, and the calendar sometimes, and things you put in the wall, Allah's names, and it's 99. And sometimes these include names which is not even in Quran and Sunnah. Like Al-Qadim or Al-Sani' Al-Warith, it's not names. So, unfortunately, it's very common, but these are not the only names we have in Quran and Sunnah. Because in Quran and Sunnah, there is more than 99 names. Where did people get that concept, 99 names, from? Where does that came from? It came from, yes. From the hadith, whoever hafidha 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will enter Jannah. Is that what they got it from? No. Aywa?
The hadith ends there, but the sheikh who narrated the hadith, he continued and related the names that he thought were the 99.
This hadith was narrated by Imam al-Bukhari and Muslim only like this. Allah is witr, and He loves witr. Witr is the odd number, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. Okay, and He loves whatever ends as an odd number, not even number. So 1, 3, 5, and so on. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 names. Whomever hafidhaha. Hafidhaha, it means he apply it, he memorize it, he pray to Allah by it. All these includes the word hafidhaha. Allah will enter him Jannah. Will enter him the Jannah. طيب. So, in At-Tirmidhi, in the narration of At-Tirmidhi, the hadith doesn't stop here. The hadith continue by saying, and they are, then it mentioned 99 names. This hadith, they are, and it mentioned, reported by Tirmidhi, al-Bayhaqi, and others. Unfortunately, this hadith, which is reported, with mentioning the 99 names, this edition was added by Al-Imam Al-Zuhri rahimahullah ta'ala. We call this in the science of hadith mudraj. Mudraj, been added to the text, And this is what Al-Imam Al-Zuhri thought the 90 names are. The question is still here. The hadith saying Allah has 99 names. Is that means that Allah's names are only 99? The hadith will not mean, the hadith doesn't mean that. And here Bazigha said, Al-Waleed ibn Muslim added, and also that's true. Al-Waleed ibn Muslim added this, and Aydan al-Zuhri added this. There is so many scholars have mentioned that, and unfortunately it was added later on to the hadith. Yes, Al-Waleed ibn Muslim, the one in the Tirmidhi, that's true. And Al-Waleed ibn Muslim is a great sheikh, but he is mudallis. He is mudallis. طيب, for whoever knows what that means. Mudallis. This hadith, which is saying that Allah has 99 names, whomever memorize it, he will enter Jannah. Okay, whoever hafidhaha enter Jannah. Let's say, what this hadith means. This hadith means there is a certain 99 names. Are any 99 names or certain 99 names? No, certain 99 names. There is specific 99 names. If you make hifd for them, memorize them, ask Allah with them, you know what they mean, apply them in your life, okay? You will enter Jannah. The hadith does not suggest in anyhow they are only limited to 99. It's exactly if I tell you, I have $10 for charity today. I have $10 for charity. Do you understand that I have only $10 in my pocket? I have $10 for charity. There is 99 names. The reward of making hifd for them is Jannah. So it doesn't suggest that there is no other 99 names. Okay, from where we get that there is more than 99 names? From where we got that? One, by looking to the Quran or Sunnah, reviewing all the names they are mentioned, there are more than 99. Two, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the Prophet sallallahu said, "O Allah, I ask you by all the names that you have." And the hadith reported by Ibn Mas'ud, related by Ibn Mas'ud, radiyallahu anhu arda, and it's in Bukhari and others. "O Allah, I ask you by all of your names, the ones that you have, أسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك," the ones that you named yourself with it, أو أنزلتها في كتابك, or the ones that you have sent down in your book, you mentioned in your books, your book, أو أنزلتها في كتاب أسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك, or the ones that you have taught your servants, and the servants here means your messengers, your messengers. أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك, or these names that you have not told anybody about it. So there is names Allah never told anybody about them. Okay, Allah kept it for Himself, and He did not tell us in this world, in this worldly life, about it. So these names are not known for us. We don't know how many of them. So that's why we said the number of Allah's names are unknown to us. Are unknown to us. But don't say they have no number. There's number for them, but we don't know how many of them. We need to memorize at least 99 of them. At least. Type any 99 or specific 99. Based on what Suhair is saying, any 99. But the hadith is not about any 99. The hadith, as Sheikh al-Islam bin Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, is related to specific 99. To which 99? Khalil, which 99? That's here why is Zuhri mentioned 99, Waleed Basyouni mentioned 99. Everybody try his best to come up with the 99. Okay? Okay? So, which one of them? Which one of these groups? Because they are different. The scholars have mentioned different 99s. Anybody can guess? The ones derived from, all of them derived from the Quran and Sunnah. The ones somebody said only Allah knows. If only Allah knows them, why we've been asked to memorize them and to practice them? If He never told us about it. What do you think?
The ones, if they're mentioned in the Tirmidhi and not in Bukhari and Muslim, I take the ones in the Tirmidhi.
No, but they're not mentioned as the Prophet ﷺ statement. It's some of the Tabi'een statement. Some of the narrators, that's their, they said 99, they try to come up with the 99 that they mention in the hadith. So that's their ijtihad, that's not from Allah or His Messenger ﷺ. That's why other scholars like Zuhri have brought another 99 other than what Waleed Basyouni brought.
There's, like, it's just encouragement to memorize as much as you can because you don't know which ones they are.
No, not as much as you can. It's a 99.
I mean, those are specifically 99, but as far as you memorizing and understanding and using those, you try to use as many as you can.
Could they vary from one to other? No. The hadith intentionally, the Prophet ﷺ did not tell us which 99. Why? So we don't leave anything out. It's like exactly Allah has something called the greatest name. Have you heard of this before? The greatest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His name. Ismullah al-A'zam. The one the Prophet ﷺ said Allah has the greatest name. Not names. One of His names is the greatest. That greatest name, if you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by it, your dua will be accepted. Your request will be given. There is a lot of debate about which name is this. Some scholars said it is Allah. Some others said no, it's Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum. Some said no, it is Allah, قل هو الله أحد, الله الصمد, لم يلد ولم يولد, ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. All this together. Some said other than that. But the correct opinion is that this name is unknown for us. Why? So nobody will leave out the rest of the name. If I know the greatest name, why I will call Allah with other than this name? If I know that the name that whenever I use my dua will be accepted, why I will use another name for? That's right. So what happened? I will not use the other names. Exactly like Laylat al-Qadr. If I know when is Laylat al-Qadr, why I will spend the whole Ramadan praying all night? I just go to Laylat al-Qadr and that's it. That's right. If I know which night is it. Why would I bother myself with every night going to the masjid? I just go, Allah did not tell us when exactly, so we will not leave out any night in Ramadan or any night in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Okay? And you know there is Ibn Mas'ud's opinion that Laylat al-Qadr, one of the nights of Ramadan, not even last 10 days. So, even some said one night in the year. So, this is not specifically in Ramadan, but that's not a very strong opinion. طيب. The point is that these 99 names are unknown for us. It's an encouragement for us to study all His names. So if you do all the names, I guarantee for you that you get the 99. If you pray all 10 nights of Ramadan, I guarantee for you that you shall get Laylat al-Qadr. Or you who do the whole night in Ramadan. You granted Laylat al-Qadr for sure. And this is why Allah did not tell us what His greatest names is or what are these 99 names are. Some scholars said no, any 99 will be sufficient, but that doesn't seem to me, at least as a very strong opinion. Is that clear for everybody? Shaza, Shama, Asma, Aliyah. طيب. Alhamdulillah. Iyad. Is that clear here? Everybody here? We're on the same page? We're going fine? Good. طيب. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes, description are with what in the Quran and Sunnah without committing any tamthil nor any takyif. Tamthil, when you make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala similar to something exist in this world. Okay? Takyif, when you make Him similar to something exist in your imagination. When you imagine how He is or how His attributes looks like. Then we negate for Allah what which Himself has negated from Himself without ta'wil or tahrif nor ta'til. And we said that at-ta'wil or tahrif can be categorized to two categories. Lafzi wa ma'nawi, of the wording and of the meaning. Who can give me an example of tahrif lafzi in the word, in the text? Changing the text. Tahrif, we said to changing. Who can give me an example of tahrif, changing in the text? Yeah. وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. They change it to what? كَلَّمَ اللَّهَ Musa. As if Musa the one who talked to Allah. So they change the Dhamma or the Fatha to support, to promote their ideas. Another example. Adding the word Ali to the verse بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك في علي. Deliver what Allah has sent to you in regard to Ali. They add Ali to the text, which is something not exist. And mispronouncing the word, changing, like the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, لا نبي بعدي. That's another example. لا نبي بعدي. It means La is a person, his name is La, and he is a prophet after me. طيب. Also, there is a narration which the Prophet ﷺ said, follow after me Abu Bakr and Umar. Follow after me Abu Bakr and Umar, yani after my death. So all the Shia changed this hadith and they made it, follow whomever after Abu Bakr and Umar. And they said he was referring to Ali radiallahu anhu. I said, what about Uthman? So sometimes they're changing the way it's pronounced to give another meaning. طيب, that's common way of tahrif or not common? Not common because the text, well, it's very easy to find out about. But what was very common is tahrif of the meaning. Changing the meaning. Changing the meaning from what to what?
Something lesser. From what it is, the obvious, to something that is lesser, that is
Changing from the obvious meaning, al-zahir. Remember the word? Al-zahir. We had a difficult time to figure out how we write it. The Z, T, H, D, H, you remember? Al-zahir. So they're changing from al-zahir, which is the obvious meaning, the appearing meaning to the word or to the statement, to some far meaning, to something far or not obvious. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Without evidence, without proof. Because if we change based on proof, based on evidence, it will be acceptable. It will be acceptable. It will be acceptable. When I said the word lion, what's the obvious meaning come to your mind? The animal. But I say there is a lion, for example, leading the battle and fighting the enemy, holding the sword and protecting himself with the shield. The obvious meaning automatically will become what? A courageous man or a human. It will not be the obvious meaning as the animal. Okay? So, we always stick to the obvious meaning of the word, the obvious meaning of the word. And we said unless there is a proof will support that the obvious meaning is not intent. But what if somebody told you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about himself, Ar-Rahmanu ala al-arsh istawa. 8 times in Quran, Allah istawa above his throne. Allah above his throne. Allah above his throne. طيب? Or settled above his throne, in another word. Or in another way, the early Muslim generation understood the word stawa. Allah's higher. Or He is high above, way high above His throne, or above His throne. ارتفع على استقر. طيب. Even it been mentioned that Allah sat on His throne. In the early Muslim scholars have mentioned that. The word sat, jealous. And it's been mentioned by more than 18 of the early Muslim scholars, as Imam al-Daraqutni have collected their names. Sat on His throne. Type. Some scholar or some people might tell you, no, Allah's above His throne. It means Allah is better than His throne. The word istawa, or above His throne, it means that He is better than His throne. Allah fawqa arshih, fawqa khalqih, or Allah above His creation, it means He's better than His creation. So the word above, it means better. Like we say, gold above silver. And a status. Yeah, but that's not the obvious meaning. when you say above his creature, above his creation. Because there is no comparison between Allah and his creation. To Allah better than his creation. What's the point you're trying to make? When you look to the whole entire verse, what's before it, what's after, it doesn't make any sense. Allah is better than his creation. It's like when you say, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ السَّيْفَ يَنْقُصُ قَدْرَهُ إِنْ قِيلَ إِنَّ السَّيْفَ أَمْضَى مِنَ الْعَصَى. One man said it's beautifully said, isn't that something terrible to say? That this sword is more sharper than the stick. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to buy a sword. And the swordman tell me, yeah, it's a very nice sword. It's way sharper than the stick. It's better than a stick, man. It's better than this cane that you use. Is that something that make me feel good about this sword? When it says Allah is better than his creation, it's not, no point. No point, because we are down there, way there, and Allah is the high. So it will not be a way of Allah praising himself, but Allah above his creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said istawa also, it means he took over his throne. He took control of his throne. They said istawa, it means istawla. What is the proof? They said, yes, there is a line, a poetry saying, استوى بشر على العراق من غير سيف ولا دم مهراق. Bishr took over, استوى, which in this line it means he took over Iraq without any fight. They said the Arabic language, this poetry show clearly that istawa means istawla. Istawa means stawla. Istawa, it means above, settled, he's above his throne. They said, in this line, it doesn't mean he's above Iraq, he's settled in Iraq. No. It means he took over, he took control of Iraq. So we asked them, okay, hold a second. Who said this poetry? Is it somebody from the old time of Arab? No. This has happened in Ibn Zubayr time. And most of the scholars, they don't consider any poetry been said in that era, in that period of time, a pure Arabic language. So, linguistically, the word istawa, it doesn't mean take over in Arabic language at all. It's unknown meaning. And claiming that this poetry support that linguistic meaning is not a good argument, because this poetry been mentioned way later in time. Because the pure Arabic language, the scholar said, which is the very, very pure, the one prior to the Prophet ﷺ time, in the Prophet ﷺ time, or in the first 100 years of Islam. But this is not. So that's one. Two, we say, okay, you're saying this. Allah took over his throne, took control of his throne. Why? The throne was not under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, was not under his control, so then he take over it. What kind of meaning is this? It's not even meaningless. It's a bad meaning. It's a very bad meaning. So this changing from the obvious meaning to a very far meaning you couldn't think of. You couldn't think of. That's why Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said in his Nuniyya, he said, نون اليهود ولا مجهم في كتاب الله زائدتان. He said, the noon, the letter noon, which the Jews added to Allah's book, equal to what these Jahmiyyah, these innovator, have added to Allah's book another letter which is lam. Istawa. You see, istawa is like this. So, istawa, okay? What they said, they add the letter lam, which is, they added here. Istawla. They said istawa, it means istawla. Istawla, it means took over, took control. It's exactly like what the Jews did, as Ibn al-Qayyim said, when Allah told them, enter Jerusalem, some of the Jews, when Allah ordered them to enter Jerusalem and say what? hittah. What did they change it to? Hintah. Allah told them, say hittah. They said hintah. So He said, this noon and this lam both been added to change the meaning of Allah's book. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said that in his Nuniyah. Type. Anyway, it's not that important. But istawla, they said took over, captured, take control, as if Allah was struggling with somebody until He took over the throne. And this is totally unacceptable, unacceptable. So going back to what we were saying, that tahrif of the meaning is so common. I told you they changed the word hands to mean powers. Without evidence, without evidence. Hand could mean power. Hand could mean power. Yes. Strength, ability, capability. That's right. I said the iron fist. You heard this expression before? It's in Arabic. Yadum min hadid. I will hit the rebels with an iron fist. I'll smash the terrorism or the terrorist with an iron fist. Iron fist operation. You hear this all the time. So this expression is a kind of metaphor. So hand or fist or hand here is not necessarily referring to the actual hand. Actual hand. So if he said, that's why we're saying Allah did not create Adam with His hand. He created Adam with His power. Is changing from the meaning of hand to power acceptable? No, because there is no evidence to support that. What if he said the evidence is that in Arabic language it means power? We said in Arabic language hands, it means hand, which is the things that you use to handle things with it. Whatever the hand is what you handle thing with. Okay? So both meaning in Arabic acceptable. Why you leave this meaning to that leave? He said because hand give you a physical image of Allah, and Allah shouldn't have a hand. Because hand it means fingers, toes, fingers, nerves, wrist, and parts, and blah, blah, blah. What we say in this case? No. This is not an argument. Because Allah's hand, it doesn't require that. It's like Allah's live, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees, hears. It doesn't mean that He has all the system that you have in your eyes or your ears. When He loves, when He has mercy, when He got mad, angry at somebody. It's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is different. So this is not valid argument. So we reject that. Also, look at the sentences. Is it accept to say, other than the obvious meaning, to give it like in a metaphorical ways? For example, if we say that Allah said, I created Adam with my both hands, which is mean both capabilities, both powers. Allah has two power. Allah has two capabilities, or one. See, even the way it's been said, two hands. And in Arabic language, when we say two, it means two. It means two. It cannot be taken in a metaphorical, or it cannot be a metaphorical speech. Type. Can be hand used sometimes referring to the power and ability? Yes. Allah said that in the Quran. He said, don't you see that we have created Al-An'am in Surah Yasin. Al-An'am, the cattle. We created them by our hands. مما قلنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون. That our hands have made for them cattle. Does that mean cattle were directly created by Allah's hand? No one said that. Neither Ahl Sunnah or anybody else. Because hands here came as a pearl. Not a single, not two. Hands, more than two. And that's something Arabic, non-Arabic speakers have to understand carefully. In Arabic, we don't have single and plural. We have one, two, then more than two. More than two are one category. Two is one category. One is one category. So there is a big difference when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, my both hands, then my hands. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has only two hands because of the hadith, but we know also that hands is not here. It's been used in a metaphorical, referring to his ability. His ability. Not his abilities. His ability. And that's unknown in Arabic language. Why? Because there is a proof to support that. That Adam alayhi salam is the only one Allah created with his hand. Not the cattle. Not the cattle. As the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah created Adam, only Adam, with his own hand, and he wrote only the Torah with his own hand. With his own hand. Also because Arabic, linguistically, that can be accepted to be used hand in a form of jam' in a metaphorical speech. So basically, it is very important to understand we have to look to the proof that support. If somebody claimed that this ayah should be taken out from a zahir, from what appeared to something else, we seek what is the proof that they based this changing on. It's not like somebody think it just one way, Ahl Sunnah. I said, no, every single verse is the same, will be treated the same. No, they look at every statement, they look at linguistically, and they look at the technical definition of every word and the linguistic definition of every word, then they make the judgment. Right, and this could be a little bit too advanced level that we can study later, inshallah ta'ala. But my whole point is that they don't go from al-zahir to other than al-zahir, which is mu'awwal, ta'wil, without proof. Without proof. And this rule apply only to Aqeedah or apply to fiqh as well? Apply to fiqh as well. The Prophet ﷺ said, when you enter the masjid, don't sit until you pray 2 rak'ahs. This appear as if praying Tahiyat al-Masjid, the greeting of the masjid, the 2 rak'ahs that you enter, became wajib or recommended? Wajib, the hadith very clear. Don't. That's what appeared, that's the obvious meaning. Okay, is this obvious meaning what meant? No. It's not wajib, it's recommended only. Pray witr, is it wajib? Pray the sunnah of fajr, is it wajib? No, it's not wajib. Why? We took other than the obvious meaning based on other hadith, which is the Prophet ﷺ said to the man who asked him, Ya Rasulullah, I've been told that only 5 prayers a day, Allah made them obligatory on us. Nothing else, anything else will be considered volunteer. So based on this hadith, I don't take the obvious meaning of the first hadith. I know that this not meant to be, it means, this hadith doesn't mean it's obligatory, no, it means highly recommended. Highly recommended. So that's it works. It's a very important rules in understanding the whole entire religion. We take the obvious meaning unless there is a proof which shows us that the obvious meaning is not intended or is not meant. طيب. I hope I answer this. Why wouldn't say Allah created cattle with his hand? I answered that because the Prophet ﷺ said Allah only created Adam with his hand. Otherwise, we and the cattle will be in the same level. And that's impossible. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we honored Adam and his children over the rest of the creation. طيب. Nobody ever said cattle were created by Allah's hand. Ever. They all agree that this verse doesn't mean that Allah created with hands. It means with His power and ability. That's how we look to the evidence that will support us when we said that the obvious meaning, or maybe that what appeared to you from this text, is not what meant to be. طيب. So the tahrif, we know that the one is not based on proof. And we said there is an extreme group, it called in this regard, called what? Al-Batiniyah. Who said there is always appearing meaning and hidden meaning. So they said, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said fast, it means keep the secrets of your sheikhs. So if I tell you the secrets, you keep it, don't put it online. Okay? So that's what they said, that's what it means. They said, pray, it means just make dua, remember your sheikhs. There is hidden meaning. Allah said, pray, worship Allah until the yaqeen, the certain fact come to you, which is death. They said, no. There is hidden meaning. It means there is certain level. When you reach it, you don't worship Allah anymore. That's why they saw one Sufi Sheikh in Muharram. They said, how come you never make tawaf around Kaaba? He said, what do you think if somebody, the Kaaba, make tawaf around him? So messed up. طيب. What do you think of a man? The Kaaba itself comes and make tawaf around me. So why to make tawaf around it? So, sometimes people will, that's too extreme to the extent they said, Musa did not understand the test that Allah have put him in it. What was the test? This extreme Sufi said, that Pharaoh was absolutely true when he said that he is Allah. And Musa couldn't figure that Allah was Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was really Allah. What? Yes, there's a hidden meaning in the story to teach us. There is a hidden meaning. So they play with the deen. That's why they said there is no difference between mothers and daughters and wives. They are all halal. There is no difference between water and alcohol. There is no difference between qubul and dubur. There is no difference between men and women when it comes to sexual relationship. There is no difference between boys and girls. Everything is halal. Everything is halal. Actually, they said there is no difference between God, creator, and creation. It's all one thing. And all this extreme comes from when they open the door of ta'wil and tahrif. And ta'wil and tahrif. طيب. Give you another example. The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah said, I will love my slave so much to the extent I will be his eyes, his feet, his hand. What's the obvious meaning come to you? What's the first meaning come to your mind? Honestly, his eyes, it became his eyes, his feet. But we know that this is not what it meant. It meant that he will see what I want him to see. He will walk to what I want him to walk to. He will use his hand in what will please me, in what I want him to do. What I would do if I have these hands, basically, in another word. Okay, changing from the obvious meaning to other, based on what? Why somebody doesn't come said no, like the extreme Sufi said, he will be his eyes, it means Allah himself will go inside his body. No, this is not what it meant. We have evidence, dalil, to support us when we say Allah will never be inside one of his creation, which is all the verses in Quran which say that Allah is not similar to his creation, Allah is not part of his creation, Allah above his creation. So we have dalil to make sure that we understand this in the correct meaning. We don't be just literally taking it. So we are very consistent in our method of dealing with the evidence. Just remember, the key word is a valid, legit evidence. Don't just think we only take the obvious. Because I have seen so many innovators and internet and debates in my life. They think that we say we don't change the obvious meaning to other than the obvious meaning. We don't say that, for God's sake. We say that, but we add to it without legit, without authentic evidence. It's a big difference between the two statements. So don't forget this. طيب. Why cannot we say, Sheikh, did you say that Torah is written by Allah's hand? Is this hadith in Bukhari? I'm not sure if it's, I think it's a Bukhari, yes. I think it's a Bukhari. Yes, absolutely. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote the tablets for Musa with his own hand. Yes, in Bukhari, where Musa and Adam have met each other, he said, and you, the one who Allah have written for him, the Torah with his hand. No. So it's this in Bukhari, yes. طيب, from Hadith ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, because he's the one who narrate the hadith of the debate between Adam and Musa. Somebody can check that, inshallah, for us. Allahumma salli ala nabiyyina Muhammad. So this is what basically is tahrif all about. Then we have something called ta'til. Ta'til. This is a very easy subject. Ta'til, it means neglected or what? Destitute. Ta'til, neglected. Like ta'til comes from atl. From al-atl or al-utl, which means when you empty something, like something, you have a container full of candies. You take all the candies out, we call this ta'attalaha. When something you turn it off, you can't use it anymore, it's useless. It doesn't have any use for it. When there is a well, became empty, no water in it anymore, we call that mu'attal. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَبِئْرٌ مُعَطَّلَةٌ وَبِئْرٌ مُعَطَّلَةٌ Surah Al-Hajj, Surah 22, verse 44. Okay? It doesn't have any water, so it's useless. So what do you think when we said we negate from Allah, whatever he negate from himself, without ta'wil, tahrif, because tahrif, it means changing, negating. So I said the first meaning is not meant, okay? I negate something. Neither ta'til. Ta'til, it is when you neglected or when you neglect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes. For instance, when you come and say Allah doesn't have mercy, doesn't have wisdom, doesn't have life. He is not exist. He is not loving God. He is not merciful. You see? He doesn't talk. Allah doesn't talk. Allah doesn't see. See, that's what you call ta'til, neglecting. Ta'til could be in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's lordship, rububiyyah. Can you give me an example? When you say, when somebody believe what? How a person can make ta'til rububiyyah? Surah Al-Hajj, Surah 22, verse 45, Asma. Yes. Somebody give me ta'til in rububiyyah.
Allah is not the sustainer of the world.
Somebody said Allah is not sustainer of the world. What else?
He doesn't provide, I provide for myself.
Yeah, I'm provide myself, Allah doesn't provide me. That's ta'til. The atheist. The atheist who said Allah does not exist. They made ta'til to his lordship. That he does not exist. He's not the creator. Okay, when they said that this world created itself by itself. The mother nature created us. Is that clear? That's ta'til in his rububiyyah. In his rububiyyah. If somebody said Allah doesn't create our action, we create our own actions. This is ta'til in his rububiyyah. Also ta'til in uluhiyyah, in worshipping Allah. By what? By worshipping other than Allah. By worshipping other than Allah. طيب. When Christians start worshipping Jesus and saying Jesus is God, those who believe that God is Jesus and Jesus is God. Okay? Which kind of ta'til they made? Uluhiyya and Rububiyyah. And Asma wa Sifat, obviously. Uluhiyya both, because they said Allah is Jesus, so they don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Basically, those who don't say there is a father and son, those who said, no, there is no father, just only Jesus, that's it, no father. Okay? They actually deny the existence of the Creator, and they thought the Creator is Jesus. Is Jesus. Type. The one I would like to talk about, because that's what we're studying this course, the ta'til of Allah's names and sifat, attributes, al-asma wa sifat, which is somebody negate all Allah's names and attributes. You remember the story of my tree that he told yesterday? You remember it? My tree, the one that doesn't have a shade, doesn't have fruit, does not have a leaf, does not have a color, does not have a root, does not have any description. That's in my imagination. So it's not exist. That's what ta'til is. That's why they said al-mu'attil ya'budu adama. The one who practiced ta'til, he is actually worshipping non-existent God. Mumathil, who's the mumathil? The one who said Allah is similar to his creation. Ya'budu sanama. He worshipping an idol. Because he get this image for his God. Similar to some creation. That's why the mumathil, the one who practiced tamthil, is indeed worshipping an idol that he have drawn, have pictured. And the mu'attil, the one who practiced ta'til, he's worshipping a non-existing God. Non-existing God. طيب. Al-Mu'attila, there are two groups. Al-Mu'attila are two groups. The first group, the philosophers. The philosophers. The pure philosophers and heretical philosophers. Most of the pure philosophers, they deny the existence of God. He does not exist. Or they say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like mind. You know your mind? They call Allah the mind of the universe. Al-aql. The active mind of the universe. Have anybody heard this terminology before? Huh? Active mind.
I've never heard that before.
Al-aql al-fa'al of the universe. Or the mind of the universe. And they said this is Allah. Now, if mind, listen just to me just 1 second. You have what inside your head? Brain. Inshallah. I'm just kidding. we have brain inside our head. That's right. Our brain is our mind, or the mind is something different than the brain? We can imagine mind something different than the brain. That's right. So they said that's exactly Allah. Allah is the mind, but does not exist. It's like the existence of the brain. Yani if you open your head, you're going to see brain, but you're not going to see the mind. That's Allah's existence. Allah's existence like the existence of love. You open your heart, you're not going to see love. Okay? They said that's the existence of God. It's not real existence. A'udhu billah. So He's not really exist. So this is the pure ta'til, isn't it? That is not, He doesn't have any attributes which shows that He exists. See how they view Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have heretical philosophers especially those who claim that they are Muslims. And there are two types, the Sufis and the extreme Shi'is, Rafida. There is some among them who extreme Rafida and extreme Sufis, extreme Shia and extreme Sufis, who have a lot of philosophical argument and ideas without going into details. Type. Like for example, when the extreme Sufi said, Allah is everything and everything is Allah. They said, hey guys, are you hungry? Online, are you guys hungry? Are you guys here hungry? If you're hungry, I'm not going to be able to teach you this. Because I need you to concentrate a little bit. Give me a little bit for that brain. Okay? I want you to, I would assume that those online on a room, sitting, living in a room, like or staying in a room like us now, classroom. I want you to look around, everything around you, all the way back, all the way. I want you to look around, all the way back. Go ahead. Look around. Yes, go all the way back. I want you to see everything inside this room. The same thing for online. Please, I want you to look around, 180 degree. Okay, you did that, right? 2 if you did. Everybody online. Right, number 2 if you did. I want you to go 180 degree or 360. So 360. Okay, you have seen everything around you. Okay, now I want you to imagine the following. Everything exists around you. Try to take the quality, one quality of it, which is its existence. Imagine if this cup, I will take its existence. What will be here? What will be here? Nothing, no more cup. I take the existence. Okay, one of its the quality, one of its attributes that is exist. I will take that one out. So it will not be exist anymore. And what I will do it, okay, I will put it here in my hand. And I take this mouse, another quality which is its existence. I will take it. Then no more mouse. It will come here. Imagine that, okay? I told you it's need imagination. You following with me here? I will take the computer, the cameras, the walls. Then I will start with you guys, taking you out from the existence. Then all of us will be in this ball. Every single things in the whole universe, take it, until you have a big ball, has the existence of all the universe. This big ball that you can imagine, the Sufist philosophers, the extremes of this is Allah. Then one day this ball explode. So each part of it went. So this one went and became earth. This one became tree. This one became Hashim, Hisham, Muhammad, Rimsa, Kab. So basically Allah is everything and everything is Allah. That's their philosophy. Yeah, I know, it's sick.
That's similar to a Hindu concept of nirvana.
Okay, that's exactly what Sufis come from Buddhists and Hindus. So that's the extreme group of Sufis, the very extreme. That's who said Allah is everything and everything is Allah. Literally. So that's how they. La hawla wa quwwata illa billah. Ay wallahi, la hawla wa quwwata illa billah. So literally, that's what it is.
Come back to the idea of food. So when they eat.
Yes, they eat Allah. To the extent Sadruddin al-Qawnawi or one of their sheikhs, when they said that means I cannot go to the bathroom. He said, don't worry, because everything is Allah. To that disgusting level. That's why Ibn Ata al-Sakandari, which is people promote his books, and he said, that the moment you will be connected to Allah the most when you are doing the intercourse, because you became inside the God. Which is so disgusting. And he said, doesn't matter, your wife, even some of the extremists said, your wife or anybody else, just because it's all God. That's what he said. They said, there is no taklif, there is no halal and haram anymore. يا ليت شعري إن قلت رب, the Al-Hallaj, he said in his famous poetry, العبد رب والرب عبد يا ليت شعري من المكلف. The slave is God and God is his slave. Who is the one who has to practice Sharia or to submit to Allah Sharia? إن قلت عبد فذاك رب. If you say that he's a human, he's a slave of Allah, he is in reality God. And if he is God, how God has to practice something or to obey somebody? So we end up no Sharia. No Sharia. So it's too extreme. They said Allah, they said ما الكلب والخنزير إلا إلهنا وما الله إلا راهب في كنيسي. Also, they said, this extreme group, they said dogs and pigs are just our gods, part of Allah, and Allah is part of it. And they said, and Allah is just a priest who are in the church worshipping. Ibn al-Farid, Ibn Arabi, Ibn Sab'in, Sadr al-Din al-Qawnawi, these big names in the history of Sufism, that's their ideas. That's their ideas. So, and it is very extreme views of ta'til.